Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Okay, so you have handed us this towering stack of source material, spoilers, notes, recaps. It's all focused on the spiraling chaos in Port Charles.
Definitely chaos.
Today, we are not just watching General Hospital. We are kind of like performing emergency surgery on these plot points.
Yeah, it's necessary surgery, absolutely. We're talking secrets that are designed to basically sink careers, alibis that are just dissolving under pressure.
Right.
And, that Quartermain family battle, it really threatens to leave the mansion in, smoking ruins.
Totally. So our mission today is pretty clear. We're diving deep into the events of this midweek crisis, specifically October 8th through the 10th.
Yeah.
And then we're meticulously mapping out the explosive fallout that's coming next week, October 13th through the 17th. We really need to connect the dots between the Drew shooting investigation, the unexpected arrival of Monica's sister, Ronnie, and those really devastating personal secrets that are just tearing marriages apart.
It's like this perfect storm, isn't it? The convergence of these three massive arcs. You've got the criminal investigation, the inheritance fight, and the relationship betrayals. It's all reaching critical mass at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So we have to look at not just what the characters are doing, but, why they're making these really high stakes, often kind of self-destructive choices.
Okay. Let's jump straight into the deep end yet, because the crisis this week involves, like you said, international espionage sort of crashing into local crime. We have to start with that incredibly complicated WSB agent dilemma. Jason, Brennan, and the completely compromised Jocelyn.
Well, what's fascinating here, I think, is that this high-stakes spy plot, it's become less about, international security and more about classic Port Charles relationship maneuvering. And it's all centered around Carly. Basically, Brennan is having this really tense conversation with Jason. And his main fear isn't some foreign adversary. It's Carly. It's Carly running to the press or interfering with her usual, Corinthus gusto.
Yeah, Brennan's worried that telling Carly the truth will, ruin his professional credibility, obviously.
Yeah.
But it could also expose a critical WSB agent.
Right.
And we strongly suspect that agent is Jocelyn herself, even if she doesn't totally get the danger yet.
But wait. If Brennan is genuinely worried about Carly interfering, doesn't that kind of suggest he actually needs Jason's, protection or compliance more than Jason needs the WSB's help? Is that power dynamic shifting here?
It definitely looks that way, yeah. I mean, Brennan holds leverage, sure, but Jason's the one with the direct line to the person, Carly, who could just blow the whole operation wide open. So Brennan is actively pushing Jason to keep this totally secret from Carly, just to stop her unpredictable interference. This isn't really about WSB protocol anymore. It's more about Brennan trying to control the chaos factor that comes with involving Port Charles's most dominant family.
Okay. And while Jason is laser focused on getting Jocelyn out of this mess, Brennan is actually doubling down on using her. The sources say he gives Jocelyn an important assignment. Right.
And we're left speculating, based on other hints in the sources, that this mission might tie in to two big players, either Hank Dalton, who's currently locked up,
right,
or the always mysterious Britt Westbourne.
This assignment suggests Brennan hasn't, achieved his goal yet. He's still trying to extract value from Jocelyn while simultaneously trying to neutralize Jason's attempts to pull her out.
Yeah.
But the cost to Jocelyn herself is huge. I mean, she's having to build this elaborate, possibly explosive cover story just to keep her family and friends like Carly and Trina off her back.
And the cover story itself is pretty wild. She's stretching the truth, maybe even making up a story about a trip to Australia that never happened.
Right.
When we know her last known agent work was actually in Croatia. That geographical lie is massive. It just shows how deep she is, this whole world of spy deceit. And eventually, that level of lying, it's going to shatter her relationships, right? Especially with Trina, who values honesty so much.
Oh, absolutely. The emotional toll of that secret is like a ticking time bomb. But okay, as this international drama is sort of simmering in the background, the local criminal investigation into Drew's shooting takes this dramatic and almost kind of comically incompetent turn.
Yes. Let's pivot to the Drew shooting investigation, because the whole foundation of this investigation is shaky thanks to a massive police screw-up with the search warrant for the attempted murder weapon.
We're talking about the PCPD issuing a search warrant with the wrong address. I mean, seriously.
Unbelievable.
They were targeting the Quartermain mansion, right, where the gun was supposedly taken from, but the paperwork was just wrong. This admin error is huge because First, it casts doubt on the legality of any search later on. But more importantly, it gives the real shooter this massive window of opportunity.
And this mistake basically turns Harrison Chase into the most pivotal potential witness, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Since Chase actually lives at the Q mansion, he's the only one who might be able to confirm that Edward Quartermain's specific gun collection is missing.
Yeah.
And if the gun used to shoot Drew came from that collection, and Chase notices it's gone, he realizes the shooter not only had a head start, but probably managed to clean up the scene before the PCPD could even legally show up.
And that realization, that's what's driving the police anxiety here. Anna Devane, who's obviously got tons of experience with both WSB and PCPD stuff,
Right.
she voices this concern directly to Chase. She tells him, if anyone knows how to clean up evidence and make a weapon disappear, it's him. And she's clearly talking about Jason or Sonny's methods. This basically confirms the police believe the botched warrant gave the shooter plenty of time to completely sanitize this scene.
So their expectation is basically his failure at this point. They assume the weapon is gone, like hidden forever in a river or melted down somewhere.
Totally. Which is why the next plot point hits like a grenade. Despite all their fears that the evidence was cleaned up by a pro, Anna and the PCPD do find the attempted murder weapon, and the location is just stunning.
They find the gun at Elizabeth Weber's house.
Yeah.
During a search.
I know.
Elizabeth is described as completely blindsided, just stunned by this. And she's immediately asked to come down to the police station for questioning. This is a massive twist because Liz has this otherwise airtight alibi.
Yeah.
Right? And now she's apparently holding the murder weapon. It just raises that inescapable question. Is she being set up? Or is she protecting someone?
Yeah. This completely flips the investigation on its head. It instantly throws suspicion on everyone who's been close to Elizabeth. But we also know Liz was already feeling the heat even before they found the gun.
That's right. Earlier in the week, we see Carly visiting Elizabeth, and she's in a state of, outright panic. Carly's desperate to know if the PCPD is investigating her, and she specifically wants to know if Elizabeth told the police that Carly threatened Drew.
Classic Carly, right? Trying to manage the fallout before it even hits her directly. But it really highlights how Liz is now juggling multiple high-stakes secrets. She's got the potential knowledge of Carly's threat. She's dealing with the implications of her own supposedly solid alibi. And now the actual weapon is found in her house. The walls are just closing in on her super fast.
So as the police try to make sense of this really bizarre situation, Anna and Dante Falconeri are comparing notes on the suspects and their alibis. We get confirmation from the sources that Elizabeth's original alibi is solid.
Right.
But maybe more fascinatingly, Portia Robinson's alibi is also solid, and it involves Dr. Isaiah Gannon.
Yeah, Portia's alibi is solid because she was, intimate with Dr. Gannon at the time of the shooting, which is significant because, it clears her of the crime, but it simultaneously detonates her personal life, right? It confirms her affair.
Wow.
The complexity of Portia's life right now is just staggering. Cleared of attempted murder, but potentially guilty of massive betrayal towards Curtis.
But the really crucial investigative breakthrough, despite these solid alibis for Liz and Portia, is that the sources are crystal clear.
Yeah.
One person's alibi definitively falls apart on Thursday, October 9th.
And all the signs seem to be pointing directly at Willow Tate. Willow visits Drew at the hospital, and she admits she hasn't been entirely honest with him.
Okay.
The speculation is that this confession is about her inability to account for her time the night Drew was shot, which makes her a sudden prime suspect, especially given her connection to the Quartermains through Michael.
So why confess now? Is it just the pressure of the police closing in? And maybe the gun being found forces her hand?
Probably a combination of things. Yeah, the pressure, the gun.
Right.
She updates Drew on the shaky alibi, but she also tells him of the judge bribery stuff connected to Drew's past.
Right.
And the whole evidence situation. So this admission to Drew isn't just clearing her conscience, it's potentially preemptive damage control. She knows the legal wheels are turning fast.
Okay, so Drew, lying there in his hospital bed, is learning that someone trying to kill him has basically kicked over a whole anthill of chaos.
Exactly.
His past actions, like the bribery, are coming out, and the woman who shares kids with his main rival, Michael, is now a key suspect because she can't even provide a simple defense.
Yeah, it sets the stage perfectly for all those relationship fault lines to just crack wide open.
So the criminal investigation is now directly crashing into these deeply personal dramas. Let's talk about Britt Westbourne for a sec and the kind of high-wire act she's performing, especially with the whole Jason-Jocelyn situation.
Britt is totally leaning into her, unique brand of dark humor to cope with the immense stress
Yeah.
and the incredibly sensitive info she has about Jocelyn being an agent. We see this scene where Jocelyn's at the docks, Britt's involved, and she's joking about demanding the most expensive suite at the Metro Court for her silence.
That is classic Britt, using that glibness like a shield.
Oh.
The sources emphasize she'll probably insist she's not taking advantage of Jason, even though Carly is deeply and probably justifiably suspicious about Britt's motives.
Right.
It's like she's trying to deflect attention, keep up this veneer of innocence. But at the same time, she knows exactly how much leverage this secret gives her over Jason and the whole Corinthos family.
But this whole performance is clearly taking a toll on her. Later in the week, Britt is described as being really frazzled, like completely losing her cool with someone.
Oh.
Yeah, the potential targets for her outburst are pretty broad. Could be Nathan, her mystery boss, Jason, maybe even Carly. But the key thing is that her involvement in this mystery, whatever it is, may be related to her own past WSB stuff or whoever her current boss is. It's pushing her to the breaking point. She's clearly juggling way more than she can handle.
Wow. It says a lot that even someone usually as unflappable as Britt is cracking under the pressure. Okay, now let's shift to another relationship under massive internal strain. The whole Curtis, Portia, and Drew dynamic. This feels like a potential powder keg just waiting for the tiniest spark.
And Curtis thinks he's found the solution to their, external pressure anyway. He shares this theory with Portia, suggesting that if he's right, Drew won't hold power over them anymore.
Okay, what's the theory based on?
It's likely based on the idea that the police search, even though it was botched, might have inadvertently seized, destroyed, or somehow invalidated the specific incriminating evidence Drew was using as leverage against them.
So Curtis is hoping a police mistake actually sets him free. He sees a light at the end of the Drew tunnel. But the irony here is just devastating, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Right when Curtis thinks they're free from external threats, Portia gets hit with the most significant internal threat imaginable.
The sources reveal Portia is actively trying to hide evidence of a positive pregnancy test, like maybe sliding a folder over it on her desk, or maybe Curtis just notices it.
Wow.
This one single item is the physical, undeniable proof that her past betrayal, the affair with Dr. Gannon, is about to completely destroy her current marriage to Curtis. And it's totally independent of anything Drew is threatening.
It's like the perfect storm of soap opera plotting.
Yeah.
Curtis thinks they're heading towards stability. But Portia knows the whole foundation is about to crumble because the baby could belong to her husband. Or her lover, Dr. Gannon. This secret, if it comes out, makes all of Drew's external leverage seem kind of irrelevant compared to the domestic fallout, right?
Absolutely. And speaking of calculated maneuvering, we have to analyze Michael Corinthos' latest move. Amidst all this chaos, Michael suddenly tells Willow he wants her to see the children again.
Which is super suspicious, right?
Yeah.
Michael has been so rigid, almost punitive, about Willow's access to the kids. Why the sudden, gracious change of heart now?
Well, the analytical consensus seems to be that Michael thinks he might be arrested.
Oh.
I mean, given his involvement in the Quartermain sphere, the chaos around the Drew investigation, plus the revelation about Drew's judge bribery, which Michael could easily get tied to.
Okay.
He's likely positioning himself for legal trouble, so his move is calculated. Ease Willow back into the kids' lives before he gets detained. It's an attempt to manage the fallout of his potential absence.
That really reveals a cold, strategic side to Michael. It's not about forgiveness. It's like resource allocation before the hammer drops.
Exactly.
And this probably connects to why Willow is described as visibly upset and shocked on Wednesday.
Yeah, Willow's shock could be from Chase telling her about the judge bribery, something Drew was holding. Or maybe, even more damagingly, she just sees right through Michael's transparent calculation. She realizes his generosity isn't genuine reconciliation, it's just self-preservation, which would only deepen the rift between them.
Okay, we also have those crucial little midweek notes that often hint at huge future plots. Nathan West, or maybe someone who looks strikingly like him, makes a stunning declaration.
Right. That detail's vague, but the word stunning promises massive consequences.
What could it be?
Given the drama level, it's likely tied to a major life event. Maybe a sudden return home to his son James. Or maybe the revelation of some deeply repressed or recovered memory that rewrites a chunk of Port Charles history.
Mm.
In a show built on resurrections and forgotten past, this is definitely a plot thread we need to keep a close eye on.
And Jordan Ashford finds herself seriously threatened. The list of potential culprits is like a who's who of Port Charles. Sidwell, Portia, Drew, Isaiah, even Trina.
The fact that Portia is even on that list, along with her solid alibi and her newly discovered pregnancy, just shows the level of fear and high-stakes maneuvering happening in that part of the story. Jordan's definitely in the crosshairs of someone desperate to protect their secret.
Yeah, that threat confirms that the secret's being kept, whether it's Portia's affair or maybe Jordan's own professional compromises, are worth killing or threatening over.
Mm-hmm. And amidst all this high-stakes danger, we get this tiny moment of levity. Lucas Jones trying to play matchmaker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know who the couple is, but it's like this necessary little counterpoint to all the darkness, reminding us that romance, however brief, still exists in this besieged city.
Well, that lightness is probably very short-lived, because all these fault lines seem set to converge next week into this huge, unmissable confrontation.
Mm.
Let's chart the course for October 13th through the 17th.
Okay, we have to start with the absolute centerpiece of next week's drama, the Quartermain Civil War, the monumental battle for the inheritance. This isn't just another plot point. It feels like a return to the foundational DNA of general hospital drama.
Yeah, we're talking about the arrival of Ronnie Bard, Monica's sister.
Yeah.
Ronnie apparently bonds quickly with Michael. She expresses genuine warmth, happiness about meeting him, shares nostalgic memories of Monica, and crucially, Michael tells Ronnie he is genuinely glad that she got the house.
And that single moment of acceptance from Michael, who's basically the heir apparent to both the Corinthos and Quartermain legal legacies, that is what ignites Tracy Quartermain's fury.
Right.
Ronnie is getting ready to pack up and move into the mansion, and that's the action that causes Tracy to just lose it. For Tracy, this isn't just about the house. It's about being sidelined. It's about Monica's final insult, and it's about controlling the Quartermain identity.
Yeah, to understand how intense Tracy's reaction is, you have to remember her history with Q-Wills. Tracy sees herself as the true protector and heir of the family legacy, even when she's clashing with it.
Always fighting for her place.
Always. Every time a will is read, especially Edward's or Leela's, Tracy is right there fighting for her spot. So Monica, by choosing her sister Ronnie, an outsider in Tracy's eyes, and cutting out Drew, she delivered this final, calculated slap in the face.
It's a direct attack on Tracy's status. And she's allegedly going to hire someone named Marco to try and debunk Monica's will.
Okay, so she's going full legal assault.
Exactly. The sources mentioned the will was reportedly rewritten back in January by a lawyer named Wentworth. That detail is critical because it gives Tracy a tangible target. She won't just argue about the sentiment. She'll challenge the legality or maybe Monica's capacity when the will was actually drawn up.
And the legal gears are already turning. Martin Gray, who's known for handling these kinds of delicate, high-profile legal messes, he might already be investigating Wentworth's files. If Narton's involved, it means Tracy is treating this like a serious, complex legal battle, not just a spontaneous family tantrum. She wants to find the loophole, the error, the coercion, anything to invalidate Monica's final wishes.
Yeah, the core conflict here is that Monica deliberately orchestrated this chaos to define her own legacy, didn't she? By cutting Drew out, she ensured maximum fallout, which, ironically, Drew is now perfectly positioned to capitalize on.
Okay, let's look at the fallout from that impending arrest and the custody battles, the direct consequence of the investigation we just picked apart. An arrest is imminent in the Drew shooting case.
Right. But the strong suspicion, based on the sources, is that the wrong shooter will be apprehended.
Really?
Yeah. Given that Willow's alibi is falling apart and the weapon was conveniently found at Elizabeth's house, the PCPD is likely going to make a swift arrest based on circumstantial evidence or maybe even a frame job.
While the real perpetrator waits in the wings.
Exactly. It's a classic setup for long-term tension. An innocent person potentially in jail while the real villain walks free.
And this false arrest provides the perfect opportunity for revenge, doesn't it? Especially for Drew.
Oh, definitely. Drew is already planning to hurt Michael. His motive isn't just the attempted murder, although that certainly fuels it. It's driven by old grudges, compounded by this white-hot anger over Monica cutting him out of her will. Drew sees Michael as basically representing that Quartermain rejection.
So Drew's revenge will be calculated, focused on dismantling Michael's life. And the best way to hit Michael is...
To his children, yeah.
Exactly. So if Michael is the one arrested, Whether it's for the shooting or maybe a related cover-up, Willow is expected to make a swift move for emergency custody of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
This is the devastating payoff of Michael's suspicious reversal earlier in the week. His attempt to manage the situation by letting Willow back in. It's going to be weaponized against him in court.
His calculated risk will backfire spectacularly. Willow will argue, quite reasonably, that a parent facing serious legal jeopardy, especially potentially involving a shooting or a judge bribery scandal, isn't a stable environment for children.
Whoa.
Michael will have basically handed Willow the perfect legal justification to regain full control over their kids.
The family tragedy is just complete.
Right.
But okay, while these legal battles and arrests are dominating, romance and temptation are also reaching a fever pitch. We have that whole forbidden fruit dynamic between Jocelyn and Vaughn.
Yeah. Despite Brennan's explicit, non-negotiable warnings for them to stay away from each other.
Which were clearly to protect the WSB operation.
Yeah.
And probably their lives.
Right. Despite all that, Jocelyn and Vaughn are strongly tempted to be together. That allure of the forbidden, combined with the extreme danger they're navigating, that often creates the most potent romantic bond.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally risking exposure and professional ruin just to be near each other.
It's the absolute definition of crossing professional and personal boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spy world, that mistake is never just personal, is it? It has catastrophic consequences for everyone involved.
Totally. Now, in contrast to that dangerous liaison, we have Gio Palmieri and Emma Scorpio Drake. They apparently need to clear the air to resolve their misunderstandings.
Okay.
Both are clearly interested in each other, but they've been kind of stuck in that awkward transition zone between friendship and something more.
So what's the good news there?
The good news is Gio is making a smart, tactical decision. He's moving out of their shared living arrangement specifically to pursue a genuine relationship with Emma.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, that separation removes the ambiguity and the pressure that so often derails these budding Port Charles romances. It's actually a mature, necessary step towards real commitment.
Okay, that's refreshing. And finally, we circle back to Portia and her looming crisis. She's facing this existential decision triggered by that positive pregnancy test.
The sources confirm she experiences this traumatic flashback to her night of passion with Curtis, and then later, her affair with Dr. Isaiah Gannon.
Wow.
This flashback is triggered by seeing the test result, forcing her to confront the paternity uncertainty head-on.
So she now faces the absolutely devastating decision of who to tell about the pregnancy, knowing the baby could belong to her husband.
Yeah.
Or her secret lover.
Yeah. This secret is exponentially more destructive than anything Drew is holding over her. The potential for a paternity scandal to just completely redefine her marriage, her professional life, it's immense.
And the timing is just cruel. As Portia is agonizing over this decision, Curtis and Jordan Ashford are expected to grow significantly closer.
Right. They're completely unaware of Portia's potential new baby or the ticking time bomb this secret represents for any possibility of a closer connection between them.
So it means by the end of next week, these three major conflicts are basically locked into place.
Mm-hmm.
The Quartermaine fortune is being fought over in court. The investigation has resulted in a potentially flawed arrest.
Mm-hmm.
And Portia is carrying a secret that is poised to dismantle multiple lives through the inevitable paternity drama. The stakes are just incredibly high.
It really seems like chaos is the new normal in Port Charles, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, we've managed to synthesize this huge amount of source material into some clear analytical threads. Let's do a quick recap for you, the listener, of the core takeaways. #tag outro.
Okay, so the three big threads of destiny emerging from this deep dive are pretty critical. First, that Drew shooting investigation. It looks highly flawed. It's pointing towards a rapid but potentially incorrect arrest, likely helped along by Willow's crumbling alibi and the very suspicious placement of the weapon at Elizabeth's house. It feels like the PCPD is maybe trading accuracy for speed here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Second, Tracy and Ronnie are set for this monumental, legacy-defining battle over the Quartermaine mansion.
Oh, yeah.
It's fueled by Michael's acceptance of Ronnie getting the house and Tracy's fierce determination to invalidate Monica's revised will through aggressive legal action. This Q civil war is going to consume the family's attention.
And finally, those crucial relationship dynamics, we're talking Curtis and Portia, Michael and Willow, they are about to break wide open because of secrecy and these impending legal moves.
Right.
Portia's positive pregnancy test and Michael's calculated custody reversal, basically the catalyst for relationship destruction and some really dramatic legal battles ahead.
Okay, so we leave you with one final provocative thought to mull over. Considering the strong suspicion that this imminent arrest will involve the wrong shooter, and given Drew's clear motivation for revenge against Michael, rooted in that will slight. What happens next week if the true perpetrator is just waiting quietly for Michael to take the fall and for Willow to see custody? Who really benefits the most from all this orchestrated legal and family chaos when everyone is distracted by Tracy's fight over the Quartermain will?
Because the true winner is often the person who remains unseen in the shadows.
Exactly. Thank you for bringing your sources and joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see you next time.